Thousands of EFF supporters are expected to converge on the FNB Stadium in Johannesburg today for the party's 10th anniversary celebrations. Now, proceedings are expected to kick off at noon with EFF President Julius Malema scheduled to speak at 2 o'clock. Let's now cross back to our reporter at the event, Natasha Phiri. A very good morning to you again, Natasha. Well, judging from past events, the EFF always has a knack of filling up stadiums, and I see that people are now slowly trickling into the stadium. Just take us through what's happening now.
Definitely, Simpia. People have started trickling in, as you can see with the view behind me. This section is actually almost full, and we expect more EFF members to come out in their numbers. The expectation from the leadership here is that they will be filling up the FNB Stadium. But to take this conversation further, I'm now joined by Omphile Maotwe, who's the Treasurer General of the EFF. Thank you so much for joining us on SABC News. So, Ms. Maotwe, are you going to fill up the stadium today?
Greetings to you, Natasha, and greetings to the viewers at home. Of course, we're going to fill up the stadium. The people started arriving here as early as 6 o'clock, and we held the gates closed until the sweeping was done, and then we allowed people to come in. We opened the gates, I think around 8:30 or so, and you can see, as you are saying, it's not almost full; it's actually full. This one is full. They are now filling up the wings of the lower level. And when you look at the VOC, inside the VOC Operations Center, there's TVs that are showing cameras all around the stadium. You can see there's still a lot of people outside who are coming in. There's still a lot of movement of the buses that are coming in. Our buses that we hired, they've got a sophisticated system that shows if a bus is moving, if the bus is standing still with engine off, and then if the bus is full. And you can even zoom inside the bus to see where people are, whether people are in or not. So we've got that equipment. That's how we're tracking our buses. Our buses are coming out in their numbers. We don't have issues at all with buses. My buses from home in the village, they left as early as 4 o'clock in the morning. They were quite excited to be here. So we are going to have a full house today. Every seat will be occupied. Of course, there are private-owned suites that the private owners did not allow us to go in. So we might see a dripping in and here and there of the seats, but it's purely because the owners did not allow us access. But that's only on the suite. But on the grandstands, I can assure you that we're going to have a full house.
You talk about the buses that you've organized. How many buses did you organize personally? And furthermore, as an indictment on your colleagues, like the likes of Bovu Sikoza and many more, those 428 councillors who could not organize transport for their constituency to actually come to the stadium, and what other further action will be meted out against them?
So there was a resolution taken back in January, late January, when we had a plenum, that public reps needs to bring their constituency to the stadium, because you can't come celebrate here and leaving your people behind. Whose people are you celebrating with? Who must organize people for you? So as a leader, you ought to lead your own people. You ought to lead your own constituency. So as a member of parliament, for an example, we are mandated to go and pay for 20 buses. And then later on for Gauteng, it was increased to 50 because we are close by. You know, the buses from Western Cape, for example, are much more expensive than the buses of Gauteng. So in order to balance fairness, we had to increase. So I've got 50 buses that are coming from Tshwane, written TG1, TG2, up to TG50. They're all going to be full. But over and above that, I've got my home. So Tshwane is my membership branch, but I've got a home branch where when all is said and done, I go home. So even there, we've got a solid branch, which we gave 5 buses. They were full as early as 5 o'clock. They are now on the way. So it is irresponsible for any public rep, honestly, to fail to even bring just one bus. How can a councillor pay for a bus from as far as Bushbuck Ridge, a bus of 47,000, when that councillor is earning as little as 20,000 rands? You are a member of parliament. You stay in KZN. You fail to bring just one bus. That's being irresponsible. You are even not just a councillor, but a leader at the national level. So it's the irresponsible character at the highest note. There will be consequences. President did mention that when he did the press conference, that those public reps that did not adhere to the call to bring the people, there has to be consequences, because we can't just give instructions and we are just ignored like that. So the CCT will be sitting for this quarter, sometime in August, and the decision will be made on what needs to happen to those who did not meet the targets, because we feel that and that's why the first thing is that they must not come anywhere here to celebrate with whose people. You must bring your own people to come and celebrate with, not to bank on other people to celebrate with their people. It starts with you. It starts at your home. Let's see if you are a leader from home. And that's the message that really we are sending out there.
The theme for this year is 10 years of the unbroken struggle. What informed this theme? And just, looking at the state of the party right now, looking over the past 10 years, yes, you've highlighted your strength, your growth as a party, not only at the polls, but, other things that you've managed to champion as the EFF, fighting for the insourcing of workers at institutions of higher learning, as well as municipalities. But let's look at the EFF and look at its weaknesses, really self-introspect. What could you say are the party's weaknesses where you could actually work and improve on them?
No, Natasha, we've done well as the organization. And we are saying 10 years of unbroken struggle because it's not yet Uhuru. The struggle continues. We went to Parliament when it was very difficult. I mean, when the EFF was formed, we were called all sorts of names. Ifitafela, we were fools, we were just angry bunch of people back then in 2013. And people never thought that would be a significant party that changes the political landscape of this country. Came 2014, we sent 25 members of parliament to Cape Town to go and fight for the people. And what did they do when they arrived? The first thing was to champion the motion for expropriation of land without compensation. In that first administration of the first battalion of the EFF members of parliament. We went then to the first NPA in Bloemfontein, Mangaung. They said, we're going to have to implode, we won't come back from the assembly. We came back even more solid. With now a democratically elected structure that took us from 2014 to 2019. 2016 local government elections, we fielded a lot of public reps, over 800 public reps, it was 826 at the time, public councillors that we fielded in various municipalities. Came 2019, we went back to our second NPA where I was democratically elected as a Treasurer General of the EFF. And again, they said, we're going to be divided, we will not come back. We came back stronger and led the party to the 2021 local government elections, where we come back with what? Over 1,000 public reps. The EFF is the only party that is growing. That's why you'll see the likes of the DA calling us enemy number one. Because why? We are heading towards victory, which is coming now in 2024. So we are happy that we are 10 years today. The doomsayers have been saying we will not make it anywhere. We're 10 years. And the people of South Africa have seen that the EFF is actually speaking truth to power, because what we speak is what we do. We went back, I think 2 times already, for the land expropriation motion, which was not agreed to by the ANC. The third time is after their conference at Nazareth, where they adopted it as a resolution of the ANC. We fielded it in Parliament. They came up with some amendments on the motion itself. We agreed with it. We saw Parliament going around the length and breadth of this country, asking our ordinary people, would you want expropriation of land without compensation? Our people in the majority said, we want the land. We went back to Parliament to do the actual amendment of the Constitution, and ANC, true to what they are and who they stand for, they rejected that. They sold us out. But we are saying to the people of South Africa, it's not yet Uhuru. We'll continue to fight. That's why we're calling it a struggle. The struggle is not yet over. We're going to win it, and we can only win it with the people of South Africa. 2021, we launched a campaign of 1 million members. Because you can't win election, Natasha, without members. You ought to have battalions on the ground. 1 million soldiers who will go and spread the message of economic freedom in my lifetime. We surpassed the 1 million. We are now growing. The interesting part is that, Natasha, although the campaign is over, you would actually think it's still on. I don't have the stats from the SGO, but from my account balances, the merchandise account is growing again. So it's more interesting now, that merchandise account, because that's what tells you that there's new members coming in. They pay their 10 rands and you see the account going up. I looked at it last month and I'm like, wow, this account is growing. It means we've got now more members. We're no longer tracking 1 million now. We're tracking over 1 million, 1 million plus. And that is what the EFF is. The people of South Africa, we want to thank them for believing in the EFF. It is through their courage that we see that actually we get courage ourselves to continue fighting. And we're saying to the people of South Africa, we'll fight until we attain economic freedom in our lifetime.
Before we get to your role of the Treasurer General within the organization, I also asked you to point out your weaknesses. You've pointed out your strengths. But earlier on this year, when Mr. Malema was launching the media campaign, or the media launch of the 10th anniversary, he had said that the biggest problem of the EFF is its candidates. It chooses people who are not known for community work. They start serving communities and their people the day they become candidates for the award. How is the EFF seeking to change this, seeing that next year you're going to the elections? The thing is with the EFF, I mean, on Twitter, it seems as if you've got a lot of support, you know. Local government elections is a different thing, you know, and then you come to your by-elections. Yes, I know that recently you've won wards from the ANC in by-elections, but it seems as if you're not doing quite well when it comes to by-elections.
So we are actually doing quite well. Of course, there's a few wards that we dropped in terms of the numbers, but we are not worried because overall the EFF is doing very well. We have not won too many wards, but Natasha, we're only 10 years old. It took ANC almost 100 years to get into power. It will never take the EFF that much. It will take EFF 10 years to get into power because next day we're taking power from the ruling party.
How confident are you when we look at the numbers?
Very confident. So if you look at how they do it, they've got financial strength, these people. We don't have. They take all their resources and in terms of people and the money, and they lump it in one ward. We contest with people who are well off in terms of funds. We don't have money. We are the third largest party. You get money per your public representation. So our chunk is far much more smaller than. So when we get 5 rand, you are guaranteed that the ANC got 25 rand. And we are the organization that got more programs than anybody else. We've got few members of public reps compared to the ANC. I mean, we're sitting at 44 in parliament. They are well over 200. So imagine the party levy that they pay every month compared to what we get as the EFF. So with the little that we have, we try to do as much as possible. We have done much, Natasha, in terms of this program of leading up to the 10-year celebration here at FNB. We've gone through the entire country, celebrating with the orphanage homes, celebrating with the old age home, renovating, you know, putting solar systems, and putting in carpets, tiles, painting, renovating, making general maintenance. Over and above that, coming up with a celebration, extra celebration on the day, which costs us that money. But that doesn't end there. We then left 100,000 for each and every home we visited. So in the past 2 months that we visited this, we parted with 900,000 rand just as a cash.
Okay.
Now that's not all because we renovated. So we parted with a lot of money. But all I'm saying is, with the little that we have as the EFF, we try to share it, and as such, we are unable to contest the same way the ANC is contesting because of its margins of that they get from as the allocations.
Which brings me to the next question. You're the Treasurer General of the EFF. How are you handling the party's coffers? And also, you know, it's nothing new to you. There's been that criticism to say that when it comes to the Political Funding Act, each and every quarter you look at the EFF's donations, not much is being donated to you, but there's so much that you're doing for the community. And some say, listen, your leaders and your organization is living large and living lavishly, but when it comes to declaring, you don't declare your source of income, you don't, you know, how are you managing the funds of the party if this is the case?
We're managing it very well. That's why they didn't clean audits all the time. The ANC got a disclaimer and you guys are not talking about it.
No, we reflected it. Definitely. With the IEC.
With the IEC, the ANC got a disclaimer.
Definitely.
EFF got clean audit. Now, Natasha, here's the issue. We don't have funders. We've got people who love the EFF. I mean, I was on a call with an old man from Limpopo yesterday, telling me how he's struggling to donate 1,000 rands to the EFF because we are law compliant. We follow the law. The law says you declare what is above 100,000.
Yes.
101,000, you declare. Anything below, you don't declare. It's not like SARS. You know, SARS, you can send zero filing. You can file zero. But with IEC, you don't bother them when you've got 20,000 rands, when you've got 1,000 rands. We've got a system that we call an online donation, which caters for people from above 100 rand up to 100,000. We can make it public, it's there. We've got an SMS donation, which can only donate 5, 10 rands, 20 rands, and 30 rands. That's how far you can go. So we don't have people who are donating 200,000, who are donating 15 million, like in the case of the ANC and the DA. So there's no need for them to declare. So the message that President was raising, that we tell our people to declare lower, is because, Natasha, they get followed. And because they are doing business with government, the ANC gets to close their taps. Typical, 20 March 2023, when we had a shutdown, it was not even a donation. We paid for buses to bus people to Tshwane, which was our biggest shutdown. The ANC went to the supplier and said, you dare not, you dare give those people buses, we'll close your tap. It was public. So it was not a donation. We paid for it. We even made public the proof of payment. But if the ANC can be so powerful that it tells the service provider, after being paid, that don't go there, what more of a Natasha who owns a small BEE company that depends on government for a living, to do tenders with government? They're going to close the tap. So you're going to run away from donating to us. Hence we are saying to our people, be within the law so that you are not exposed. Because once you give us money beyond, then we have to declare you publicly. Once you declare you publicly, there's pros and cons of it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all they're doing. So we follow the law. Natasha, we're celebrating 10 years of the EFF today.
You quickly need to
It's going to be a full house.
Okay.
We can guarantee you that. We're calling on our people. Already, as you can see, it's almost full. Please make your way to the FNB Stadium before the gates closes, because once we are full, then we will not be able to allow anyone to come in.
And those gates close at noon?
No, close when the stadium is full.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Of course, we were in conversation there with the Treasurer General of the EFF, Omphile Maotwe. Of course, talking about a number of things and a range of issues here. Of course, she says and she implores the EFF members there to come out in their numbers before the gates actually get full. I don't know if you're able to see behind me, if Stella can just quickly show you that shot of, some of the wings being actually and getting full to capacity. Of course, just a reminder to our viewers there that the EFF President will be addressing these members here at 2 p.m. and of course the official program starts at 12 p.m. We do implore you to stay tuned to SABC News on all our platforms.